Long ago in the kingdom of Grotto, humans and demons existed together. They shared the same land, walked the same roads, and drank from the same rivers. Demons had power that humans didn't understand, but there was peace because both sides respected the balance. That balance broke when demons began to crave more than coexistence. They no longer traded knowledge or offered protection as they once did. Instead, they began to manipulate human thoughts, feeding off jealousy, greed, and fear. In the temples of Grotto, sacred relics vanished overnight. In the villages, leaders turned on each other under demonic influence. Families were torn apart as demons whispered lies into the ears of fathers and mothers, turning them violent. Markets burned, wells were poisoned, children disappeared. The demons fed on the chaos they created, and when the soul they possess gets weak, they take the soul entirely, making them stronger and ruthless. The king and priests of that time gathered. They summoned the greatest seers, and through fire and blood, they cast the demons out of the world. The gates to the demon realm was sealed, and for a while, there was peace again. But not all demons left. Some refused to go. To escape the purge, they shed their monstrous forms and took on human appearances, blending into villages, cities, and royal courts. They walked among the people of Grotto, unnoticed. And when they found someone vulnerable, an angry father, a grieving widow, a prideful god, they possessed them from within. They whispered into their minds, fed their worst thoughts, pushed them into murder, betrayal, and cruelty. When the soul weakened enough, the demon devoured it. The body remained, empty-eyed and hollow, still moving, still speaking, but no longer human. Years passed. Generations lived and died under the fear of demons. At sunset, people rushed indoors because that was when the demons dropped their human disguises and prowled in their true forms. Entire families vanished without warning. No one knew who was possessed or where evil would strike next. Households spent fortunes on sacred incense, said to keep demons away, burning it nightly as their only shield. The fear never left. Then, an old monk in the northern hills saw a vision. He saw a girl, wrapped in flames, standing above a sea of demons. Her eyes held light no demon could touch. He saw her swing a blade made of bone and ash. The demons burned. The monk told the people that this child, born under a blood moon with a star-shaped birthmark, would destroy the demons forever. The demons heard about the prophecy. They feared it. A demon hunter born of man, yet holding the gift of divine fire. If she lived, the demon race would end. So they struck first. That night under the blood moon, demons began their rampage. Possessing midwives, priests, guards, even fathers. They burned homes, cut down pregnant women, and drowned newborns. The kingdom of Grotto lost half its new births in one season. No one knew where the next attack would come from. Travelers avoided roads. Mothers hid in mountains and caves, giving birth alone. Many still died. Still, no one knew if the demon hunter had been born. The prophecy said nothing about where. Far away from the main kingdom, in a quiet village built between cliffs and forests, lived a young couple named San and Leia. They had no titles, no power, just a small hut and a patch of farmland. Leia had been pregnant for 7 months when the demon attacks began. She had no idea what the prophecy was. She just wanted her baby to live. San and Leia fled into the hills. They found a cave far from the villages, hidden and silent. They brought nothing but hope the child would survive. That night, the sky held no stars. It was empty and dark, like the heavens had turned their back. Leia went into labor. Inside the cave, the fire trembled. The ground beneath them rumbled faintly, as if something ancient had stirred. Leia screamed in pain, gripping San's hand as sweat poured down her face. The moment the baby came into the world, a pulse of energy burst from the cave. It spread through the hills, into the rivers, under the ground, and past the sealed gates that separated the human world from the demon realm. Far away, in the deepest part of the demon realm, cracks formed on the black stone floor of their kingdom. Sitting on a throne, the demon king opened his eyes. His grip tightened on the throne. He felt it deep in his core. The one they feared had arrived. He leaned forward and said, "She's here." Arya's cries filled the cave the moment she was born, but neither San nor Leia noticed the pulse of light that's rippled across the earth. Nor did they see the faint star-shaped mark glowing red on their daughter's small shoulder before fading to dark skin. All they saw was their daughter, alive. That was enough. They stayed hidden for a full year. When the killing slowed and news spread that the demons had vanished once more, they left the cave with Arya wrapped tightly on Leia's back. They returned to the outer villages where life had begun to bloom again. Arya grew up like any other child barefoot, laughing, running through open fields with other children. 10 years passed like this. Far from their village, the Demon King sat still in his throne. Since the crack split the floor of his realm the day Arya was born, he had watched the land closely. One day a servant demon returned from the surface and knelt before him. "We have found the clue," it said. "The girl will bear a star on her left shoulder, shaped like flame." The Demon King sent 5 demons to the surface. They shed their grey skins and took human form. One became an old healer woman, one with a walking stick, a trembling voice, and kind, crinkled eyes. Her name was Naraka. Naraka arrived in the village with herbs and incense. She settled in a hut at the edge of the forest and offered healing to any child in need. The villagers trusted her. Soon, mothers lined up outside her door with sick children and swollen bellies. Every child she treated, she checked, but none bore the mark. Days turned to weeks. She searched every child in the village, all but one. Arya. Arya never falls sick, so it was difficult. One afternoon, the children gathered near the river to climb the tall trees. Arya was the fastest. She laughed as she scaled higher, her bare feet gripping bark, her arms strong from chasing goats and carrying firewood. Naraka stood at a distance, watching. Her false back bent low, but her eyes sharp behind the wrinkles. She reached into her robe and pulled a small stone. With the flick of her fingers, she sent it flying. It struck just below Arya's foot. The branch shook. Arya missed her grip and fell hard, thudding against a patch of dry earth. She screamed as she was falling and lost consciousness. When Arya opened her eyes again, she was in the old woman's dusty hut. Herbs dangled from the ceiling. Wooden bowls of strange powders lined the shelves. Naraka knelt beside her with a forced smile. "You're safe, child." Arya tried to sit, but the pain in her arm pinned her down. "I'll make sure your bones are strong again," the woman muttered. Naraka reached for a cloth. She dabbed Arya's forehead, muttering old words. Then, slowly, carefully, her hand brushed down the child's collar. Her fingers gripped the edge of the loose tunic, inching it down from the shoulder. Carefully, she lifted the cloth just a little more. The girl's shoulder was smooth and dark, untouched. Naraka leaned in, eyes narrowing. She searched every inch of the skin, but nothing. She waited, watching for any flicker, any shimmer, but the skin remained bare. No star, no mark. She stepped back slowly, eyes clouded, unsure. What the demons didn't know was this: the mark wasn't meant for them to see. It shimmered only to human eyes, never to demons. So even when they stood close, even when they looked straight at her, they saw nothing, just an ordinary girl. And so, Arya lived, hidden in plain sight. Years passed, and Arya grew into a beautiful young woman. Her skin was dark and smooth, her afro hair always packed neatly in a low bun. She was quick on her feet and strong for her age. But she believed she was just like everyone else. She had no idea who she truly was. Until the dreams began. On the night of her 18th birthday, Arya woke up soaked in sweat. Her heart was racing, her body burning. She had dreamt of fighting demons, dark figures with glowing eyes and strange scaly skin. In the dream, she moved fast, fighting with a blade she had never seen before. Her body remembered the moves even after she woke. Night after night, the dreams continued. And each time, her fever grew worse. Her parents tried everything: herbs, cold cloths, prayers, but nothing helped. They noticed something strange. During the dreams, a star-shaped mark on her shoulder glowed faintly. They had always thought it was just a birthmark. Now, it pulsed like it was alive. They were scared. They didn't know what to do. Then one morning, a knock came at their door. It was a middle-aged woman, dressed in long flowing robes like a priestess. Her afro hair was streaked with gray, and her eyes were sharp like she had seen things others hadn't. She looked at Arya, then at her parents. "She's the one," the woman said. Arya and her parents were confused. The woman explained that Arya was the demon slayer, a child born once in many lifetimes. She said Arya had the power to end the reign of demons forever, but she had to awaken it. A special weapon, made long ago, waited for her in a sacred shrine. Only she could touch it. But the family refused to believe her. They sent the woman away. Still, the dreams continued. The glowing mark didn't fade. The fever grew hotter. Arya was no longer sleeping through the night. Her parents, worried and desperate, went searching for the woman. When they found her, they begged her to help their daughter. Arya began to live with the woman, who introduced herself as Sanura. Sanura trained her in the way of the demon slayer, teaching her how to fight, how to move, how to breathe through the pain. Day by day, Arya grew stronger, faster, more focused. Sanura also taught her to listen to her dreams. They were not just dreams, but memories from another life, clues to who she was. After months of training, it was time. Sanura took Arya deep into the mountains, to the old shrine where the demon slayer's weapon had been sealed for generations. No one had ever been able to touch it. But when Arya stepped forward and reached out her hand, the sword lifted from its resting place with ease. Far away, in the demon realm, the ground cracked open. The sky above their kingdom shuddered. They knew. She had awakened. Arya had grown strong. Under the watchful eye of the mysterious woman, now known as Sanura, she had trained for 2 full seasons. Her body had grown lean and quick, her hands steady, her eyes sharp. She could now feel when a demon was near, even when it wore a human face. The sword she had claimed from the shrine pulsed with power. Its silver edge shimmered like moonlight, and whenever she drew it, demons inside possessed people were forced to reveal themselves. Their true forms, once hidden under human skin, burst out in smoke and black flame, and Arya did what she had been born to do. She never harmed the human hosts. Once the demon was pulled from their body, the person always collapsed, alive but shaken. They remembered nothing of what they had done. One evening, Arya stood on a hillside above her village. Smoke curled into the sky. Screams echoed in the wind. A group of demon-possessed men had stormed the town, their eyes glowing red, their laughter twisted. Arya ran toward the chaos without fear. She moved like lightning. With each swing of her sword, shadows burst out from the bodies of the possessed. Black smoke hissed into the sky as demons were forced to emerge. They fought back with clawed limbs and boiling breath, but Arya's blade sank through the night, slicing through their forms until they vanished into dust. By morning, the streets were quiet. The people stared at her, some in awe, others in fear. "There are more coming," Arya said. "There's one last gate they haven't opened yet, and I have to seal it." That gate lay deep in the forest, beneath the roots of a twisted black tree. Sanura led her there, revealing that it was the oldest passage between the demon world and theirs, and it was beginning to crack open. Arya stepped into the clearing. The earth trembled. A great howl echoed from below. The air thickened with heat. The bark on the tree peeled back to reveal a wide crack glowing red with fire. Then they came. Dozens of demons spilled from the earth, some on 2 legs, some on all 4s, their scaly skin glittering like black glass, their mouths stretched far too wide, their limbs too long. They had not been summoned. They had crossed over simply to bring destruction. Arya raised her sword. The battle was brutal. Her arms bled, her legs burned, but she did not stop. With every demon she struck down, more came. But Sanura fought beside her, casting shields of light and fire with her staff. Villagers who had once feared Arya now came with spears and arrows, standing between their world and the darkness. Finally, Arya reached the tree. With her last strength, she drove her sword deep into the roots. Light burst from the earth. The scream of the demon realm echoed through the trees, and then silence. The gate was sealed. The forest grew still. Arya stood in the center of the scorched clearing, her sword now quiet, her body trembling. She turned to the people. "It's over," she said, "for now." Sanura stepped forward. "The door has been sealed, but remember, this world calls the demons." The people stared, confused. Arya looked at them, her voice clear and calm. "Demons can't return unless we invite them. When we hold on to anger, jealousy, grief, when we let darkness grow in our hearts, we open doors without meaning to. That's when they find us. That's how they take us." There was silence. Then Arya looked to the horizon. "I can fight the ones who come. I can close the gates. But as long as evil thoughts live in the hearts of humans, demons will always find a way back." And with that, she turned and walked into the trees, her sword strapped to her back, her shadow long behind her.